is a win-win situation, and I will be supporting the motion.
Presenting a plan that fully pays for itself in cost savings and added revenues going forward is as good as it gets. In the final analysis, the citizens are the winners, and that's what this is all about.
And the only goal we have at the Health Department, the only goal of the Board of the Health Department, is to make sure that we are providing the highest quality public health services in the most cost-efficient manner that we can to the citizens of this county. That's what this is about.
I think the need is great, the time is right, and I think this makes great sense. So I'm here to support it.
I am honored to stand here on behalf of the DHS Commission in support of the acquisition of the property.
If there's such thing as a turnkey building, which I don't think there is unless you have somebody build one to your specs, this appears to be pretty close for the county uses.
It is a first-class facility. The structure is second to none.
You ain't going to get a better buy, and you aren't going to have a better opportunity.
I know today what you are talking about is buying that building, but I'm very impressed that the overall plan includes the overall infrastructure throughout the county, which includes my office and the buildings down here and those of us left behind.
Is elegant, is low cost, and will work well for almost everyone.
What hasn't been mentioned at all is the furnishings that go with this building. You know, I've heard it described in various ways, but basically it's as if they just took the paper out of the files and walked out one morning. With that, we'll call the roll. Commissioner Bensberg.
Aye.
Commissioner Clark.
Aye.
Commissioner Williams.
Aye.
Commissioner Latham.
Yes.
And the chair votes aye. That passes unanimously. Do we have a motion?
With strong support from countywide elected officials, business leaders, and advisory boards, the Board of County Commissioners voted unanimously on June 6, 2010 to move forward with plans to acquire the Corporate Ridge Administration Building, commonly known as the former Intel Building, putting in place a series of strategic moves that were all possible without an increase in taxes. This decision came at a time when many county departments were scattered around El Paso County in aging and inadequate buildings. The El Paso County Citizen Budget Oversight Committee estimated that due to the high maintenance cost of our older buildings over a 30-year period, capital needs would cost $385 million. The immediate and critical needs were at the health department.
The old health department building was in terrible condition. We had major issues with the HVAC system over there and temperature fluctuations from between 30 degrees and 120 degrees in offices. Those kinds of fluctuations actually caused us to lose vaccinations, supplies of vaccinations, and cost tens of thousands of dollars to the county. So we were in a major critical moment with the facility at the health department.
The Department of Human Services.
The 307 parking spaces that we had at the previous old facility were not nearly enough for the 415 plus employees that we have here that work for the Department of Human Services, as well as the hundreds of clients that we serve every day.
And the coroner's office.
This facility was built and occupied in 1988. It was designed for 5 employees, and that's the number of employees they had. All the offices were occupied when they moved in, and it was designed to do about 200 to 300 autopsies a year. That was fine for 1988. Last year we did 936 autopsies in the same facility. Staff has grown from 5 to 20, and I have no place to put offices. I have no place to store anything, and employees are on top of each other, and it's an unsafe working environment.
The commissioners and staff looked at what would happen if we did nothing.
We had some buildings that were very close to catastrophic failure. The HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems were in very bad shape. It was going to be very expensive to repair those, and so to do nothing, we were looking at catastrophic failure possibly in those buildings.
Cost estimations were made for a variety of options.
No longer having the ability to address our failing infrastructure with one-time emergency funds, we looked at 4 different options. The first was to build a new facility, which we anticipated would cost roughly $87 million, but that also did not include the cost to purchase land. So we would have also had to have added the cost of land acquisition onto that. The second option is the cost to renovate existing facilities, which came in at $58 million. Then the cost to lease a facility, which, as you know, at the end, you have no ownership rights, so we're just giving our funds to an outside agency, came in at $164 million. That was our most costly option. But then the cost to purchase an existing facility in this commercial market came in at about $36 to $40 million, depending on the facility that we're looking at.
Purchasing the former Intel building, now known as the El Paso County Citizen Service Center, rose to the top of the list as the best option. The building has 300,000 square feet of office space, a parking garage with more than 1,000 spaces, and a wastewater treatment plant to be converted to secure document storage and warehouse space. It's close to the interstate with bus service and could serve as a one-stop shop for county services.
It was a new facility, state-of-the-art, much less maintenance costs, maintenance operations and maintenance and repair costs. Energy costs were much less. We had parking for 1,000 cars in the parking structure and then another 300 or 400 surface lot spaces. We also had a very advanced data center that we can use as a backup for our county data center. So that was very attractive. It had a state-of-the-art cafeteria, it had a fitness center, and Intel left all the equipment there. Very appealing building and just was head and shoulders above the other facilities in town.
Commissioners and staff then came up with a way to purchase the building, using existing revenue sources, energy performance contracting, and a hybrid blend of Build America bonds and tax-exempt lease purchase securities.
Our goal was to utilize existing revenue sources and to actually utilize restricted revenue sources that come into the county that are restricted for a specific purpose and for the operations of the departments and offices that we were looking at relocating into our new Citizen Service Center.
The plan was presented to the public through work sessions and many community meetings where citizens were made aware of the benefits of the proposed strategic moves plan.
In looking at our master plan and our capital improvement plan, over the next 30 years we were going to need approximately $385 million worth of capital improvements. And we knew that we weren't going to be able to raise that kind of capital and meet those requirements and meet those needs. By investing in this building, we were able to address $200 million of that $385 million in this one facility. And it was able to meet a lot of those requirements for the out years and allowed us to meet those kind of needs without increasing taxes, without eliminating services, no burden to the taxpayer at all. And we were able to address that with existing revenues, and we feel like it was a great solution.
With a unanimous vote by the Board of County Commissioners and great public support, the Strategic Moves Plan was approved in June of 2010. In December of 2010, a group from the Department of Human Services began the Strategic Moves Plan and moved into the Citizen Service Center, followed by all of DHS in March of 2011.
The Department of Human Services and our community partners take up the entire third floor of the new Citizen Service Center. And you know, when you look at the amount of 600 cubicles that we were able to get through the old Intel facility, which is now our new facility, as well as the fact that it's creating more parking available for the clients as well as our employees, it just made great cooperative sense for us to purchase this new building.
Then in fall of 2011, 5 more departments moved into the Citizen Service Center, completing the move. The second floor houses the Health Department.
The second floor, nearly 100,000 square feet, was all shell space. And so we were able to go in and customize the needs for the health department, build out the labs and the exam rooms exactly as they needed them that fit El Paso County and the health department. It could not have been more perfect.
The assessor's office?
A lot of the customers, the taxpayers, citizens that use my office, the assessor's office, also have business with either the treasurer, the clerk, and recorder. Now, in the old building, the treasurer and I were in the same building, but the clerk was across the street, so that's an efficiency that we gained right away. The customers seem to appreciate that one-stop capability up here. And our respective offices have gained some efficiencies too. We can share common meeting rooms and conference rooms and classrooms too, so that's been a big asset so far.
The clerk and recorder's election office, clerk to the board, and support staff.
because we have everyone on the same floor and we have more space, we're able to get results out much more quickly this year than we have in past years. And so that helps the members of the public to get election results quickly. We've got the space to have the temporaries that come in to assist us during a presidential election year.
And the treasurer.
It's been years, since probably 3 decades or more, since the treasurer's office was able to move to new offices. And when we were thinking about the move and planning for it, we wanted to do it right. So even though a lot of online services are now available to taxpayers, we also know there's a great need for a lot of them to come to our offices. So we took some time in planning this. We've enhanced the waiting area with seating. We also have chairs now when you're meeting with our staff. We have a private little conference room if we want to meet in private with them to discuss some of their issues. It's really been a great improvement for the citizens of El Paso County.
On the first floor are the 2 offices that see the largest number of clients. The Pikes Peak Workforce Center.
Moving the Pikes Peak Workforce Center out to the Citizen Service Center, where it's co-located with the Health Department and the Department of Human Services and even Department of Motor Vehicles, has been a real convenience, a real time saver for many of the folks that use the Workforce Center. They have reason to need all of those other services, and it's so handy to have them all in the same building. One request we get at the Workforce Center is people need gas money to go do these other things, and now that's just not an issue anymore. So it works really well to have our customers at the Workforce Center able to go up to the 3rd floor for one thing, across the hall for something else, and to be able to take care of several needs all at the same time.
And the Department of Motor Vehicles Recording and Public Search.
We'll have a couple hundred people a day come into driver's license and motor vehicle and recording. And so those are the ones that we put on the main floor so the public can come into a free parking garage, park at the level, walk straight in, be able to get served, and then leave without ever having to come into the rest of the building.
Also on the first floor is the Aspen Point Cafe.
When we purchased the facility, all of the furniture, the fixtures, and the equipment were already there for us to run a full-service cafe. Not only does this benefit our employees that work there, but anybody who from the public can come and utilize this facility as well. One of the advantages of the Aspen Point Cafe is it trains those that may be disenfranchised within our society, some of our seniors, our military, and our at-risk youth, and are disabled to have the skills necessary to go out into the community to be productive citizens once they acquire those skills. Come join us at the Aspen Point Cafe.
And a medical center and exercise room for employees. Once all the departments were in at the Citizen Service Center, renovations began at Centennial Hall in downtown Colorado Springs.
Centennial Hall, as the name suggests, was built in 1976. It marked the 100th anniversary of the statehood of the state of Colorado. It was originally designed to house the commissioners. For whatever reason, they were only in the building for a short while, and it was turned over to the clerk and recorder. We went back to this building and we renovated, but we now had to plan for 5 commissioners. Also, we wanted to move county administration, finance, budget, and economic development, our public information office, and those functions were put in here, and also a small clerk and recorder office. The renovation itself was not that extensive. We had a good shell for the building. Probably the most challenging part was the existing auditorium, and the audiovisual and technology in that auditorium were 30 to 35 years old, and it was a pretty complex issue to deal with that and put the new technology in and make it a first-class auditorium.
The commissioners, county administration, budget, finance, public information, and the county attorney now work out of Centennial Hall. This opened up the county office building also downtown for the sheriff's office to move from crowded, inadequate, leased facilities and consolidate its law enforcement bureau, command functions, and training academy.
We're going to be within one large facility located directly across from the courthouse as well as across the street from the DA's office, 2 vital partners in our law enforcement mission. The other thing it's going to give us as an internal operations is the ability to communicate much more efficiently and share information. And it can be something as simple as from the time of promotions. We want to go review the personnel file of those candidates. From the point where the decisions are made in this building,
we have to either hop in a vehicle or walk 2 to 3 blocks to access those files. That will be eliminated. It'll be merely going downstairs and having the opportunity to interact with other personnel.
In turn, the county coroner can move evidence storage, family visitation, and administration out of the overcrowded morgue building into the existing sheriff's training facility located next door.
This facility should sustain the county operations for 20 to 25 years without a problem, without any kind of expansion of facility or development of anything. We're building it state-of-the-art so that as new things are developed, we can put them in. I've got one room that's going to be empty immediately, but probably within 5 years we'll have some equipment that is now being used in the larger offices that will save us time and money, and we're just about large enough to do that now, to put that equipment in, and that will also save on our budget because it'll probably save one full-time doctor position.
Finally, the plan approved by the Board of County Commissioners positions the county to sell the existing Department of Human Services and the Health Department facilities when the commercial real estate market improves, and use the proceeds to offset some of the costs associated with the Strategic Moves Plan.
Overall, the Strategic Moves Plan has really tackled hundreds of millions of dollars in facility infrastructure concerns and challenges and put it all together in a one-stop shop for the constituents that we serve. It has provided better consolidation of systems and services within the building itself. We've been able to recognize savings with just the efficiencies with our IT department and human resources, and ultimately we were able to do all of this through consolidation without any increase in taxes, any increase in general fund spending, and really tackle those long-term issues for the next 30 years.